Hello and welcome to Dr. Greg and Monica on nutrition, and we're going to talk about some late night snacks. What is good for you, whether even snacks are good for you that late at night.
How late is late night? What are we talking about?
Well, that just depends on you. Usually, some of us have dinner. I don't know if you have dinner at 5 o'clock, but don't go to bed until 11 o'clock or midnight, chances are you are going to get hungry, and you shouldn't necessarily go to bed without having eaten anything. It's what kinds of things to put in your body and what they might do for you. So
What should we do?
If you're trying to even lose weight or be careful about what you're doing, a snack might be a good thing. If you're trying to lose weight, definitely avoid any and all carbs at night. You don't need them. Carbs are a source of energy, and you don't need to be wound up when you're trying to go to sleep. Especially if you're working out first thing in the morning. Some carbs might help give you energy for your workout, but it's which kinds or not. Also, eating a healthy late night sweet, or well, not really sweet, but when I talk about treats or snacks, it's going to allow you to feel a little bit more satisfied and not wake up in the middle of the night or not be completely craving foods the minute you wake up in the morning. And finally, protein of any sort is a really, really good late night snack choice. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the snacks that you might want to go ahead and have. A little bit of, yes, there is carb in here, but a high fiber cereal. Why would you do that? Fiber digests much slower. Go ahead.
That was it. That was what I was going to say. Because it doesn't act like a carb. Fiber will actually scrub your intestines a bit like that. Some of it's called insoluble. It means it's literally a sponge. It goes in, goes back out. You don't really even absorb it. But you still get like all bran, for example, some of these things. But those will have a filling effect, but you don't digest very much of it in the first place.
If you're going to have some sort of a fruit, which once again, that's sugary and that's carby, but make sure that you don't have any canned fruits. Either stick to some frozen or very natural fruits. And when you're doing something like that, it would be maybe the berries. Or I would say at night, have that half a banana, because that'll give you a little bit more substance and it'll turn to its sugars slower than some of the others.
And it's the recommendation on the cans, presumably because of the syrup and all the stuff in there.
Yes, the cans are full of sugar. They have all sorts of syrup in them, so stay as far away from them. But some of the frozen fruits you can get, they are the real fruit. They're just freeze frozen, and I know our daughter likes sometimes grabbing some of the frozen mangoes or peaches and having a few of those slices, and that can be a pretty good snack, and it also, if you have a sweet tooth, it's a little bit sweet to go ahead and do.
Makes it a treat too.
It does. Greek yogurt is another one that is a great source of calcium. It has tons of protein. It's low in fat. Be careful with your yogurts, even your Greek yogurts. I can go to the supermarket and take a look at the yogurt counter, and you have 15 to 20 different yogurts. Don't assume that they're all the same. Try to find something that's very high in protein, that's lower in fat, and that doesn't have too much carb. I usually would not say do not have crackers, but a lot of people do eat crisps or chips or crackers. If you're going to have any kind of cracker late night, make sure that it has grains in it, that it is wheat. It's not just blanched saltines or anything like that, but I would give it a little bit more of the whole grain kind of thing. Something that's a pretty good snack at night can be popcorn.
Good old-fashioned popcorn.
Yes, but no butter. You've got to cut the butter. Once you add butter to it, it becomes a whole different kind of snack. So especially if it's the low-fat kind, if it doesn't have any butter, it can be a pretty good source of fiber. Actually, 3 cups of popcorn have the same amount of fiber as 1 cup of brown rice, and a lot fewer of the calories. Cottage cheese is another one because it contains casein protein, which is an ideal protein to have at night, because studies have shown that it can help promote fat loss when you're sleeping.
Cottage cheese is a curious one because that's variably factored in. some years back when I was using that, because it's pretty low calorie for the most part, I'd spice it up a little bit with hot sauce or something, chili powder, various things just to give it a flavor. But found it very digestible, and seems to be some evidence too. It's not bad with joint pain, interestingly enough, but I don't know how that mechanism works exactly.
Once again, get your low-fat cottage cheeses. I wouldn't go full fat with that. Peanut butter is another one, very high in protein, and it can be a really tasty kind of food right before bed. It's not going to feel too heavy in your stomach, so you're not going to feel sluggish, right before you lay down. But be careful, once again, when I say peanut butter, it's not the whole jar. It's about a tablespoonful of peanut butter. The interesting thing about peanut butter, it actually slows down your digestion process. So that's why sometimes when you eat peanut butter before, you might feel pretty heavy throughout the day, and it's because you're not metabolizing it that quickly, it's slowing it down. But in the middle of the night, if you're the type that's prone to wake up in the middle of the night and be hungry, this could be a perfect kind of thing for you because it will slowly digest overnight. It also plays a good role, with some of the good fats that peanut butter may have in it. Pistachios are another one, and compared to other kinds of nuts, they are much lower in the calorie per ounce. So that's a great one to have, pistachios. Some of the other fun, a late night omelet, for example, that's what I do at night. I will make myself, I use 1 egg yolk with maybe 3 extra egg whites, and I'll make myself a spinach omelet with that. Just those 2 things gives me a little bit of protein, keeps me full throughout the night as well. A protein shake, if you want to do something like that. What are some of your favorite later night snacks?
Used to be, if I do, a little bit of dark chocolate, not much at all anymore. Because part of it, I do like some of these things, but I find with metabolism, if I have anything, it should be more protein than anything else, because that can actually help the muscles grow during the nighttime. Sometimes possibly a little bit of a protein drink. I don't need to have much of those anymore, but sometimes if I want my chocolate in that form, 100 calories worth of that, not a lot, that might work too. Pumpkin seeds occasionally, it's good for prostate health. There's various things in there that are beneficial along those lines. Now and then, nuts, typically almonds, not too much for peanuts because they're not nuts anyway, as you may or may not know, but more along that family. But those, if I have anything, it would be that.
I think as well, when you're doing, just see what works well with you. You don't want to wake up in the morning bloated, but you don't want to wake up starving. For some of those who might train or might do what we call fasted cardio, and that's a whole different episode. But I do fasted cardio every morning, so my meal 1 doesn't come until I've done that 30-minute or 45 minutes worth of cardio. So for me to have that later evening protein kind of snack is important because that's what helps me get through. So these are a couple of things that you might want to try out, a couple of healthier options, and let us know how it goes. And if you have a very special favorite type of late night snack that you like and has done well for you, write it down in the comments. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.